Hello, viewers and listeners of the podcast Caught in the Motion. In our fifth episode, which we're going to discuss a very modern topic for or against or anti-gaming. With me, the main host, Javor Ivanov, and with my co-host, Kubrat Ivanov. Hello, how are you, Kubi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to tackle this really interesting topic, which for some is a scourge, for some is eternal pleasure.
Yeah, well, it is a big topic, especially now with the growth of the industry, because now the industry is worth trillions and it only keeps getting bigger. But I feel like gaming has also become in general something more than just playing video games. It's become a way of communication and a way of staying in touch with people. So I feel like it has a few uses rather than its one primary use that we will cover in today's episode. So
here will be, with our discussion, I will be more representing the anti and against gaming. Then my co-host will represent more the people who really enjoy gaming and love gaming and spend more time with gaming. So figuratively, we will be representing these two groups of people. So I like to start with a few questions to my co-host. The first one is, what is do you think is the positive side or sides of gaming?
well, obviously the main bit is playing the video game itself. It's just like sport. It's just like anything else where if you don't do that specific thing, you won't get it anywhere else. Because if I sit down on the computer and I, let's say, spend an hour or two playing a shooter game, or I go play sports on the internet, it wouldn't be the same way as doing it in real life, which obviously for some, now I already know that some are going to say, well, some versions of it, like sports and all, would be better off played in real life, which I agree. But just in general, talking about this online and virtual extent of gaming, it's the reason why it's so maybe addictive to people and why you want to do it is because it's an escape from reality. It's not something that follows up usually on consequences, and it's just you in the game. And I think that's one of the best positives, as sometimes I've even used it myself as just to take my mind off anything that I have day to day.
Yeah, and here I'm just coming up in my mind saying about connecting with people, escaping reality. This escaping of reality, unfortunately for some children and teenagers, maybe adults too, it can be a bit dangerous. I think the psychologists better know than me, but this escaping too much of the reality and disconnect with the real touch with the reality can cause really serious problems. Not only mental, but we have very rare cases, but kids killing people and they think it's a game. But again, I think there is a positive side. I don't know if you're going to agree with me. That a lot of people meet other young people and they become friends, which and through gaming this happens. So there is a positive side. But what do you think of it?
Well, I 100% agree with the derealization of people. Instead of actually going out to search for physical contact in the physical world to create friends or just communicate with other people, some people kind of step over the barrier and then go too much into it, where their whole life is solely based on this virtual life that they are having, which is something we're seeing more and more now as new things and new technology like VR headsets, the virtual headsets, where you're quite literally standing with other virtual people there and you're communicating and they're real, but at the same time you're not in a real environment with them. And I feel like that's also a very big problem, as people get disconnected from the world, and the only place where they feel comfortable is once they have that headset on or they sit back down. And there's nothing wrong with that, doing it from time to time. But if you're going to a point where you're cutting out contact or you're not searching for any in-person contact, I think there's a barrier. But that's just like anything in life. It could be with eating, it could be with overtraining, it could be with anything. But yeah, it's scary, but that's why I feel like people have to be caught up with everything and seeing the new technology. And they should also impose restrictions on themselves, because it is easy to slip up and even just in general spend too much time on it when you could be doing something more productive.
Here come naturally the question, do you think then that gaming also can be dangerous, but also if it's spending too many hours can be a waste of time instead of doing something really more productive?
Oh, 100%, yeah. I do believe that you should be playing video games. Let's say you've done your exams, you've done everything that's meant to be done at home, you've prioritized your mental health, you've gone out to train, you've gone out to run, you've done something that's requiring your body to do physically, because that's another way you can relieve yourself physically and mentally. And I believe that gaming is a part of that mental relief, that psychological, that from doing it from time to time is great. I do it. You do it from time to time as well yourself.
Not as much. But,
Not as much, but
very little.
I do believe that's good. But then once you spend just too much time, even if you have that free time, even if you have too much free time, it's like this big question where even when I sit down and I only have an hour or two to play, I think, well, could I be doing something better with my time? And that's when you go back to people spending their whole day, their whole night instead of getting sleep, just thinking, could I have worked better at school? Could I have helped out my family more? Could I have trained harder maybe outside? Could I have dedicated more time to something that will contribute to me in the long term?
Like I told you before, and because I don't want even my own children to be forced to do something they don't want to do, and that's why many months ago I was keep on telling you that just to make you realize yourself that instead of doing 6 hours on gaming, for example, a day, you could have done something really positive and something that left a mark, if you like, because even this podcast, you're the one who we had the same idea we share with you, but you're the one who made the logo for example, for the Got in the Motion. And that day when you were playing game, I said, this game you're playing against Fiorentina and AC Milan, in 10 years, do you think you remember that game you played? You said no. And I said, well, why don't we do what we were planning to do and make the logo, and you make a wonderful logo. So it's a good example how something can be productive, and instead of spending more time. And thankfully, I think you realize that there is again, like everything in life, you have to find a balance, isn't it?
Exactly, that's exactly it. And especially in the recent few months, because I've gotten more into sport than I think the most I've ever been into my life. I've always been fit, but right now I'm in this whole, maybe a slight addiction you'd say, but a good one, where I'd much prefer to go out than stay in, where I've naturally been like that, but I found just much better things to do to also help out with that mental and psychological relief, rather the one that I try and chase from video games. Yeah. So some people, even when they balance it out, still prefer to stay maybe a little bit longer than another person, but that's up to personal preference. But I believe that there are people like me that could get their eyes slightly opened and realize, well, I could have spent maybe half the time, so I could still play, but half the time, and I would have done many other things. So yeah.
And I see on you the positive side of when you found the balance, because now you train more, you're playing soccer, you do a lot of MMA, kickboxing and so on, but also you read much more. Yeah. And your knowledge is really much vaster than when you were spending so much time on gaming. So yeah. Well, I don't want to usurp all the time, so I let you ask me some questions.
Yeah, well, my question to you is, what amount of time of gaming a week do you think is too much? As a parent, as a person that's working
well, in different circumstances, maybe it's different. If you're on a holiday, maybe, I don't know, 10 hours, maybe 15, 20 hours a week. If you're on holiday, all your studies finish, you're on vacation, the school is closed and it's 2-3 months in the summer, sure, why not? But going over maybe 15-20 hours a week, I would say it will be too much. If you are studying here, if you're in university or secondary school, then it's really the type of the what is in Ireland, the living cert, and in the college, in the university, you have very important exams
Yeah.
and lectures that you can attend. I think maybe should be narrowed to 6, maybe 7, 8 hours a week the most, because really wasting time, I think, I strongly believe, is wasting your future as well.
Yeah.
Because if I told you before, if you imagine you play this year 1,000 hours, but you cut it to half, this is 500 hours of something positive you can do, something that can have impact in the future in your life, like study, or just even your general knowledge. If you read and become bigger, or sports, you do sports which make you healthier, and it's good for your not only physical but mental health. Or communicate more with your family, because I see people who staying all the time young and even adults, and one day the dad die or the mom die, and if you turn back and you think of it, saying, Jesus, I spent 2,000-3,000 hours, say, every year on playing, instead of talking to my mom, to my dad, or have fun, go out, have a sit down, have a juice in the park or whatever. So yes, I think should be enjoyed. People should enjoy the game, especially kids and teenagers. But I think 8 to 10 hours is more than enough a week if you're studying, and maybe no more than 20 if you're on holiday, because there is a much better things to do than spending 50, 60, 70 hours a week playing.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. Now I don't, I'm not saying that if somebody enjoyed should not play, but that's my point of view about it.
Yeah, that's a very good answer. And the follow-up question is, do you play any video games yourself?
Yes and no. I play very little. You bought me a great game, the Age of Empire, which is about the people who inherited William the Conqueror, and he fights in his grandson is fighting in France, which is a great game, historical game, which is my type of game, and I play, but I haven't played for months because I'm very busy with other things, studying, working, and so on, look after the family. And in my days when I was young, we didn't have much video games. They were expensive. I couldn't afford it. We had, if I'm not mistaken, in my days was Sega, Mega Sega, with the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog, and I remember that I could have been addicted as well to this, because a friend of mine had money and he bought it and he gave me that game for 3 days, and he did not stop playing 3 days. And I was so sad when I have to return the game, and then now from the distance of the time I realized that I could have been addicted as well to gaming if I had the opportunity to, but thank God I did not have in this sense. It's good that I was not so, my family wasn't rich or wealthy enough to buy me this TV game. So I love reading, so I read a lot, and I think my knowledge is, it's about the world in general. It's good, I know a lot because I read a lot and I have good memory. I'm interested in the world, but again, the other people who doesn't like reading, they could have do something better than playing, sports, how I said, maybe get to know something about the game they like better, for example, if they like soccer or boxing or MMA, and learn some interesting facts and maybe new techniques or whatever. And I do play games. When I was younger, I played more. When I was single, I play in the computer. I remember one. It was the Chicken Invaders. I think it was you shooting chickens, and I play a lot. And your mom, you weren't born that time. I spent a lot of time playing that game, and Call of Duty as well on the laptop. I did play much more when I got married, and I had money to buy the laptop, and I play a lot this Chicken Invaders, whatever was the name, and Call of Duty.
And even I remember I have some, because I just have some memories just by coincidence, that maybe when I was 5 or 6, I have a few different memories where we're both sitting. I might be sitting on your lap and we're playing that Chicken Invader game. And I remember you had all the medals on the screen, and I actually have some memories from.
And to win these medals, you have to play really considerable time in that game. You know?
And you'd have multiple of them. You'd have. I even think that I remember that when we were going through our family camera, when we were going through its files, you could also see photos of the laptop screen that you've taken from it. So even.
Yeah, I did. I was addicted that the second time, maybe after these 3 days when I was a teenager. Yeah, when I got married, and your mom, rightly so, was getting mad because she come back from work and here I am playing all day, and instead of do a bit of housework or whatever. And and also another game I play with you sometimes when I have time and I really enjoy it. It's
Halo.
Halo, yeah. It's a great game. It's a wonderful game, and we play all the seasons. We have the latest one.
Yeah.
But again, we don't play that much.
No.
We? With you, I don't play that much because working and different things to do. Sometimes I like to play a little bit more. Maybe we play now how many once in 3 months or something.
Yeah, we haven't played in a very long time.
Yeah. So I would like to play maybe maybe once in or twice a month, for a few hours with you, but nothing extensive. So I do play, but how I said, not much.
Not much, yeah.
I had period that I was addicted to, and with these Chicken Invaders and Call of Duty. Yeah. But then you come along and your sister, and I focus more on my studies, so I kind of dropped this addiction.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that we already tackled this problem? That do you think for a lot of people, kids and teenagers, but why not even adults, that the gaming can become addictive?
Yeah, I even have this thought that I've had in my mind for a few years. I don't know where it came from, but when I was, some young age, I came to the conclusion that everything that's good, but that you get too much of, will become bad for you. Whether it be, I'm going to repeat myself, sports, study, reading in general, because you love reading, but it gets to a point where it's not good for you. Now, obviously, that's much better to be doing too much of reading rather than sitting and doing nothing all day. But I'm going by this motto where something that's good, but you do it too often, or you do, or eat, or do something too much, becomes bad for you. Same thing with gaming. I think that having that odd hour or two or a few hours a week won't harm you in any way. It'd be even better for you because you'd be relaxing. But if you constantly, just like anything, say, one more hour, you certainly get this built-in habit to where, let's say, after work you come back every day and maybe you had 40 minutes before you go to bed, you're like, 40 minutes, I have time, it fits into my schedule, I'll wake up nice and energetic for tomorrow. But one night you go, I don't know, 1 more hour, and it's like, it won't affect me too much. And then the next day you're like, but 1 more hour, and it's just like every addiction starts, just 1 more. And then by the time you realize it, it's in your schedule. It's just a part of your life.
Do you think that people realize they are addicted, or most of people realize it, or they don't?
Now, I'm going to use myself because, I don't know, maybe just like different people with different addictions. Some people realize that I play too much video games, some don't. Like when I was younger, maybe like still in primary school or just got into secondary school, I'd spend, a lot of time playing video games. I'd get up to the point where I'd get up super early so that I could go play video games. Then I'd have breakfast and then I'd go spend my whole weekend playing video games and I wouldn't do anything else. And which is really funny because I love playing sports, but when once I turned on the game, I just couldn't stop playing. It was just one more game, or I'll try this out, and then it was after constantly of just you and my mother warning me, saying, look, you're spending too much time. And there were times where you just not let me play, And even then, I kind of had intervals of where I was thinking, oh yeah, well, at this time, at this hour, I'd be playing, but right now I'm doing this. But the moment you'd let me get back on the game, maybe for an hour or two, that feeling of getting back to it was so good that I'd want to keep doing it. And I feel like it's when I grew up a little bit more rather than still being a child, because as a child, like, I could see the message that you were trying to portray, but that was like, so what? Like, you don't go too deep into it. But now that I've grown up and I have, maybe you could say, I'm more free to roam around. I have more things to do as a teenager than I was as a child. So I feel like just as the natural process of growing up, I've seen that I could do better things with my time.
Yeah, you can now as a teenager, you can go to the concerts like you did the other day to your friend concert.
Yeah.
You can go to the galleries or to the library or just play soccer or
Exactly.
Just for fun, even though it's not official training. Just go to the park and play
Exactly.
soccer,
with
which is
friends,
it's healthier and it's good for you. And here one question that just come up in my head is, a lot of children and teenagers, they dream that they will become YouTubers or gamers. And do you think that it's good to dream? I'm pro and really encourage people to dream and follow their dreams. But I think some dreams can be really, in a way, if you like, dangerous for the future of the children, because if everybody believes that you become a YouTuber and a gamer, YouTube showing this guys play patterns, whatever, do you not think that this is a slippery dream to have every child who play games that will become a gamer and a millionaire and playing all his life and make a lot of money?
Yeah.
Do you not think it's a bit tricky, this dream?
Yeah, well, just like any dream, I'd say, you need a plan B. Now, I feel like if you want to go down that road of pursuing it full time, you can't do it full time until you've made enough income to where you can sustain yourself rather than you living off somebody else. Like, for an example, maybe specifically as we're going into this profession and obviously this new rise of professions that opened up that weren't there like 20, 30 years ago, because obviously with the advancement of technology, we have YouTubers, people releasing music online and they never actually hold a concert in person and they're making a lot of money from that. But I feel like on one hand, it's really good that you're always pushing to be great and to be remembered as one of the greats at something. You should also have something to rely on, because as much as something is a passion and a dream, sometimes by luck or by faith, it doesn't happen the way you want it to happen. Like with, in general, let's say you want to be a professional gamer, or you want to make a lot of content that you hope millions will watch so that you can make a good amount of money for yourself and pursue it as a full-time career. Some do, but most of them don't. So you could do that as a split of your time, maybe while
That's
people,
a hobby or
exactly, as people are partying, as people are spending their own time, their free time. Let's say instead of you playing video games, you're researching how to edit videos. So you have less free time, but because of your belief, it's more of an investment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So you can work on the side, you can study, for an example, if you're a student, but that free time of yours isn't going to be your free time. That free time is going to be, I'm going to be working towards my dream. And if it goes off and you make enough money, sure, make it your job. But people in general have the misconception of, this is my dream, I love doing this, I'm going to drop everything else. But then
it doesn't happen. Yeah, because like a lot of things in life, including me, in this kind of situations, it's you don't realize. Sometimes you believe and you think that you're great in whatever you're doing, but actually it's the others to judge that. Best. So you might believe you're the best gamer, and you should be becoming soon millionaire and YouTuber, but actually the way you're doing the things, maybe the most of the public don't like it, and this dream can lead you to some to mislead you in life and waste too much time to pursue something that you unfortunately you're not as good as you think.
Yeah.
As like as a historian, I can say, a lot of people think they're top historians and they make comments in internet. They never read much history, but they read 2 books and they think they're the best historians ever.
Yeah.
But when you see the comments, you just want to shoot yourself.
Yeah.
Because absurd comments, absurd conclusions that serious conclusions about in anything. With the history we're talking about now, you have to read a lot of books. You have to see the points of a lot of scholars. You can't just throw a comment there. I think with gaming is the same. Some people, play 1 or 2, 3 years and they think, well, I'm great now in this game. I'm superb, and I will be in all of them, and I'll become a millionaire and a great YouTuber, which can be misleading. Well, I'll let you ask me some questions because I don't want to exhaust you only shooting you with my questions.
Yeah. So my question is, do you think that too much parental control ruins the fun of gaming? So setting maybe a set amount of hours that you can play on a day. So let's say in one day you say you can only play an hour and a half. But do you think that ruins it? Maybe because when somebody, obviously in a child situation, you just want to sit down and enjoy it, and while you're always having to look at the time, that you don't get the same atmosphere as it because.
Yeah, well, for sure, it depends who you ask, but in general, I think maybe a child who really, or a teenager who really want to play, and timing won't be a great idea. But in a long run, I think it's a good idea to be narrowing this time and to have some parental control. But again, I strongly believe that the parent should not be the dictator or the tyrant in the house and say, no, it will be that way. The best way is to persuade the child why it's not good to play, say, 5-6 hours every day. And to give good examples so the child can absorb this information and think over it and realize itself, the child or the children, to realize that, yeah, my parents has a point, I wasting my time, I could do much better. But yes, especially people who like to play a lot, I think in a way maybe it's ruined. But again, in the long run, I think the parental control is good to be there. But again, not to be imposed as a dictator. Try your best to persuade the child or the teenager that there is a better things, and that child can achieve much better in generally whatever aims she or he has in life if they play less.
Exactly. I agree with that one as well, because it's happened to me myself, that exact thing, to where I got to a point where I realized that I could spend my time on better things rather than spend that X amount of hours that I did. And I believe that in the last few months, maybe year, that I've shortened down the amount of that I've been playing, and that I've been putting it into better use, because time's the only thing that you can't get back.
But again, everything is strictly individual.
Exactly,
for example, I don't want to praise you, but that's the truth. You're mature much quicker than the guys your age, and my examples got to your head basically, and you realize that I'm right what I'm saying, and I'm happy that I persuade you with good examples than imposing on you. But again, because I think when it's a simple thing, if you force one child, especially a teenager, they're rebellious, and they will say, "Oh wow, I won't put." Yeah, he said, "I won't." My mother and my father said, "Don't do it. I will do it."
Yeah.
And they will be rebellious just for the sake of the rebellions, because teenagers are usually rebels. So that's why it's important because it's delicate and you have to approach it in a right way, because you don't want them to feel, your children, that you're imposing, you're forcing them. No, just that it's for their own benefits. And again, with you, I'm very lucky you realize and absorb the information I gave you. and what is the benefits of playing PlayStation, and you did it. But again, a lot of children probably they will be rebellious. So I'm not a great, I'm not an expert of how to manage your children, but I think it's the best way to persuade them.
Yeah.
You know, to persuade them, because if you don't, then maybe your battle is lost.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a lot of cases, could be lost.
Yeah, so you believe that also limiting them is a good thing, but also in the same time, while you're limiting them, you're explaining it to them why.
I always, maybe you notice it, that always, whatever I tell you to do or restrict you with something, I always explain myself.
Yeah.
And I give usually more than one reason, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So for you to see that I'm not imposing, just look at me, I want to be showing the house who is the boss,
Yeah.
who is the emperor. No, that's why I always tell you a couple of reasons, at least 2 or 3, why I'm doing that. So that is it's a reasonable impose of new rules or restrict you with something. There is a reason behind it, and I think this is the best way, because otherwise, you know, we are all born with free will, and I believe the children and teenagers, they have the same free will, and you can't just force them.
Yeah.
You have to persuade them.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
again, there is parents who wouldn't, you know, or they wouldn't
Do
say,
it,
"Ah,
yeah.
just play, let them play, and I have peace of mind, and
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know, we get into arguments, and here I'm going to watch my favorite program, for example.
Yeah.
Let them play, but everybody decides for themselves. But I think it is important to be checked out of
Yeah.
how much the kids spend in the computer or laptop.
Yeah. So the next question is, as an adult, do you believe that spending money on video games is a waste? So maybe not even purchasing the actual video game itself. Like, I tend to play here and there FIFA, or let's say when we purchased the new Halo game, it's a one-off purchase. But maybe, do you think it's a waste when you buy in-game items, like whether it be online currencies, skins, or like packs within the actual game itself?
I think to a certain extent it's okay, but that's my opinion again. To a certain extent it's okay, but spending 50, 100, 200 euros or dollars or whatever currency it is, and spending too much money, I think is silly, because this money you can save it and you can something really better for you. Like for example, the microphone we're using now, you save wisely your money, and we bought a quality microphone. So even when you do the gaming or we're doing the podcast, we have a quality one. So that's proof that spending too much money on these items, skins or whatever in the games, it's it's okay to a certain extent, but not too much. And again, too much is very how to say very abstract, because it depends on the family budget. But
in general speaking,
I don't think one child has to should spend all the money they save for gaming skins and all that, because they can live without that and invest the money in something better, even for a better computer or laptop, save in a long term, say in a year or two, than spending every month 200-300 euro on skins, packages or whatever, you know. And one day when you turn, say if you do that for a couple of years and you turn in 5-10 years and say, my God, I spent 10,000 or 5,000 of this, and now I'm not interested to play. Yeah. Then in a better computer you can have more memory to memorize books or do better things. Or you don't save money for a car if you're a teenager, you know, maybe second hand, but it's a car. Then something useful can take you from point A to point B. So I think if it's spent a bit too much, it's a waste.
I agree. Well, that finishes off our episode. That is the last question, where I ended off with a great answer. And thank you for everybody that's joined us for this half an hour, that has watched throughout this full thing, and we'll catch you on the next one.